afternoon. This is Jim Lakey with news and announcements for St. John and Maxville, Kansas, and for all of Stafford County on our website, sandylandcenter.org. Today is Wednesday, and it's the 15th of October. It's 51 at the bank at noontime. We're having a rainy day today. The high temperature is 61. Tomorrow, though, we'll have some sunshine and 64 for the high temperature. Partly cloudy Friday, 67, and Saturday and Sunday both sunny, 66 on Saturday and 74 on Sunday. Now we're going to go back to Monday to do birthdays because we were closed. So on Monday, happy birthday to Earlene Scott and Wameth Allison. On Tuesday there was no one, and now today, happy birthday to Larry Fisher, Steve Schultz, Austin Ward, Morgan Daly, and Leora Wiles. And tomorrow, happy birthday to Ruth Campbell. We hope that all of you had birthdays that you enjoy, and we apologize to the people on Monday that we didn't get to until today. Now on channel 3, we want you to watch Thursday evenings to see the football games, and St. John's game is at 6:30, followed by Coach Garcia with a few minutes of an interview, and then 7 o'clock is Maxville, followed by Coach Grizel. And you want to be watching these games because we don't have too many more Thursdays that we're going to have games, and we'll be off into another sport season. So be sure to watch that. And we need sponsors for those. It's not too late to sponsor a few games. Also, we want people to remember that if they're having a special event at their organization, or even perhaps their family, that they would like to be in the news, if you can video that with a digital camera and bring it in, we'll try to include it somewhere. Now on Sunday, we have something new. We have the 11 o'clock service at First Baptist Church live, and at 1 o'clock we have Theo's Travels, and now at 4 o'clock we have the United Methodist Church service from the morning delayed, and at 4 o'clock in the evening. And we know there are lots of people already who are watching. We've had it a couple of Sundays, and it's really neat. We're glad that they're having that service then, because there are lots of folks that are in assisted living places, and there are lots of folks that are ill or just can't get out on a Sunday. And now we have 2 church services that you can watch. At 11 o'clock you can watch the Baptists, and at 4 o'clock you can watch the Methodists. And there's no need to watch one of those big super churches from California or somewhere. You can see a local church and you can even check to see which of your friends went to church that Sunday if you look very carefully. So we're glad for that. We invite people to watch. We're reminding folks that trash service for this week will be 1 day later because of the holiday on Monday. So if you put trash out this morning, you were probably too early and you'll have to leave it there until tomorrow. But anyway, the trash will be a day later this week because of the holiday. Now, the citizens of Stafford County that are interested in economic development, I have my friend here who's making the camera work in front of me, Ron Culbert, and he is the chairman of economic development in Stafford County, among other things that he does. And if you would like to help, then call him at his home number, 549-3347. And I guess he's not going to be out chasing people unless you're already so busy volunteering things that he has to come see you at one of your volunteer jobs. And of course, that's the kind of person who makes the best helper for something like economic development. is somebody who already is doing it and is involved with the community. But we needed to get something going because we're one of the few counties in Kansas that doesn't have an economic development effort, and now we do. So we'll be glad to see what kinds of things happen as folks who volunteer and run work on doing things right now to help our county do better economically. Now it just goes right along with this, because at the Uptown Theater, the Rec Commission is going to see Fiddler on the Roof. And sometimes if you work in the committees and things in St. John or Stafford County, you almost feel like you're one of the characters in Fiddler on the Roof. Anyway, 23rd is Thursday, and the Crown Uptown Theater, Fiddler on the Roof. Call the Rec Commission at 6549 to make a reservation. They're going to leave at 8:15 in the morning, have coffee break at the Dutch Kitchen. There's a matinee dinner before the performance, and they should be home by 4:30. And that's really good, because you'll be home to watch the 6:30 news or the football games at 6:30, because this is a Thursday. Fiddler on the Roof with the Rec Commission. Now I have by special courier hand-delivered to me the schedule at Maxville schools. And so for tomorrow, Thursday the 16th, Maxville has cross-country away at Kinsley at 4. The team is dismissed at 1:40. And they say good luck to their team, which, of course, I hope they do. Then on Friday, Maxville football is against Jetmore, and it's a home game at Maxville at 7 o'clock. And if you watch the next Thursday, you'll be able to see that game in rapid fire play after play. And then on Saturday, there's a CPL volleyball tournament at 9 o'clock, and they're having play practice. I guess the game's at Belpre, if I've read that right. Now here in St. John, Thursday they're having cross-country at Kinsley. Sounds like the same event. And it's the end of the first quarter. And at 4:30 they're having junior high volleyball, at 6:30 football, and it's at home against Maxville. So if you're listening in Maxville, guess what? Your team's going to be over here playing in St. John. Then on Friday, the PAT play group at 10 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock, high school football against Skyline, and that's a home game for us here in St. John. And there is no school on Friday except for the teams and the staff of the school having a development workday. Now 9 o'clock on Saturday is the CPL volleyball tournament, again away at Maxville, and so we're probably going to see a lot of each other, the Maxville people and the St. John folks. Now in St. John schools today, they're having chili and relish plate with pears. Tomorrow, ham and cheese sandwich and tater tots, and no school on Friday. But the Sunflowers now are having today Swiss steak with tomatoes, Thursday chicken livers and onions. That sounds interesting. And on Friday, baked pollock with tartar sauce and mashed potatoes and gravy. The VIP Center in Maxville is having sloppy joes today. Tomorrow, Thursday, roast turkey, and on Friday, beef stew. So there are all these great places to eat around. Into the school, or if you can sneak the VIP Center or the Sunflowers. Well, that's all the news and announcements I have for you. And after the word of the day today, we're going to have a report with Jerry Moran talking to the government class at the St. John High School. So there'll be a brief shot of that, so that'll keep you up to date. And then, of course, after the news is completely over, we'll have the county commissioners meeting from Tuesday morning. And when they have them on Tuesday morning, it fakes us out because we have to wait until Wednesday to put them on after the news. So we apologize if we're confusing you by having county commissioners on Wednesday when the meeting was on Tuesday and it should have been on Monday. So stay tuned for the county commissioners meeting tonight. The word of the day is this: you can't change the past, but you can ruin a perfectly good future by worrying about the present. This is Jim Lakey, hoping you have a great Wednesday.
Anybody? Yes, sir.
With the bailout, do you think we're turning into a more of a socialist economy than we have been in the past, with the government taking over markets?
Well, it's certain. You know, I wouldn't leap to the word socialist, but it's clearly a different approach than we've historically, philosophically thought acceptable in this country. I voted against the bailout twice. I'm worried about, philosophically I'm worried about the greater intrusion of government into the private sector. I'm worried about it in perhaps a more significant way. I'm worried about it morally. We're borrowing up to $700 billion and asking you all, another generation, to pick up the tab, our children and grandchildren. I was at an event in Kansas City in which I was with some of the wealthiest people in Kansas City shortly after I cast the first no vote. And to a person, these people all thought it was a good idea. And I wanted to ask them if they would think it was such a good idea if we raised the taxes to pay for it as compared to just increasing the debt. And I would guess that there would be a different response. We like things as long as somebody else is paying for them. And then I also worry about this as a practical matter. Congress doesn't do things very well very often. And we certainly don't do things well when we do it in a panic. Now, I can name a number of instances in which things that Congress has passed, if you had it to do over, you either wouldn't do it or you'd do it differently. And I simply didn't trust the Bush administration to have the right plan, to be able to implement it, and for us to do the right thing when we're under this kind of panic, that it's got to be done immediately. I just didn't think that this even may work. So to violate your philosophy, to violate your morals, in an approach that says, in fact, the Treasury Department said, we don't know that this is even the right number, we just picked it because we knew we needed a big number. That bothers me. If we're going to spend $700 billion, or potentially spend $700 billion, we ought to know what we're doing. And in the broad sense of your question, philosophically, I think this is a problem. And today, the news is that the government is now buying stock in banks, and that's troublesome to me. It's also, I guess, the other point I'd make is that we would not expect, and it wouldn't happen, that if we have farms and businesses in Kansas that don't succeed and go out of business, and it's not likely that the government, the taxpayers of this country, are going to bail them out. So in fairness, and I was thinking of those wealthy people that I was with who thought this was a good idea. I wondered, what does the person who picks up my trash at home think? What does the gal who cuts my hair think? Or just, what does the teacher in my kid's classroom think? And we have a different expectation of what government would do or wouldn't do for us than transferring the liabilities from the shareholders of these big companies who made mistakes to the taxpayers of the country. And I take an approach, I think philosophy matters. This is a pretty good example, in fact. You have to have a sense of what you think is right and wrong to make decisions that all of us are asked to make, that I'm asked to make as a member of Congress. The mail-in phone calls, we received more input from Kansans on this topic than anything else in my time in Congress. And it was initially overwhelmingly opposed. When I voted no the first time, the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, went down 777 points. Then the mail-in phone calls was all, I can't believe what you've done to me. My value of my retirement account is now a third of what it was. I cannot believe you voted no. And I would have predicted that that's the way it would happen which is a reminder to me that you can't get caught in this 100 people say they're for it and 15 people say they're against, so you're automatically make this decision because tomorrow it may be 15 people against and 100 for. So you need to have a sense of what you think is the right answer. Often in government classes or political science classes in college, there's a discussion about, is your representative there to vote the public will, or is he or she there to vote what they believe is in your best interest? I don't know exactly the right answer to that question, but I don't believe that my job is to take a poll and 6 people are in favor of something and 4 people are against it, and therefore I'm automatically with the 6. I think my job, I think I'm hired by Kansans to try to make the best decision I know how, based upon what facts I have, what I've read, what I've been told, information and knowledge, to apply as best I can common sense, good judgment, figure out what the right answers are. And on the other hand, I trust Kansans a lot, and I spend lots of time with Kansans. And if I have a different point of view than Kansans do, then I always kind of recheck, how did I get where I am, and why are we kind of crossways in our thoughts? What am I missing? And so Kansans are part of the way I educate.